when you fall.
As someone who's grown up watching the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon and playing with the cool action figures, I'm loving the buzz around the upcoming live-action movie. The trailer has been all the reasons to be optimistic, and the film promises to match the scale of grandeur and legacy that the franchise has established over the decades. Now, as we're nearing the release date, some interesting details about a few key characters have been revealed by costume designer Richard Sale during his interview with Entertainment Weekly. I'm very excited about all he had to say, especially with the new details on characters like Fisto, Ramman, and Trapjaw, and in this video I'll give you a complete rundown on all that has been revealed so far. From the very beginning, I've been impressed by the vision of the director Travis Knight, because I could tell that he loves and understands what He-Man is all about. After hearing the costume designer Richard Sale talk about the movie, I'm more confident that we'll have the right men on the job who can deliver the charm and nostalgia of the He-Man universe. Richard Sale happens to be someone with a lot of experience, and he's worked on some big movies like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Eternals, Aquaman, and The Lost Kingdom, Wonder Woman 1984, Guardians of the Galaxy, and many others. However, even he was quick to admit during the interview that his work on the He-Man epic is among his hardest assignments yet. I think one of the main challenges that we all anticipated comes from the characters, because how do we find the sweet spot between the animated versions and action figures to the real-life individuals in a live-action film? As Richard Sale says in the interview, through years of knowing what is and what isn't achievable, we knew on the outset, with talking to our team and costume prop team, we knew we could do these characters justice. That's why we stuck with them. Sale had a massive team of around 120 people working with him on the project, and it was quite a task at hand as they had to bring to life some very difficult characters in terms of visuals. Of course, you have the usual He-Man, his childhood friend and loyal guard Teela, Man-at-Arms Duncan, and Skeletor, the root of all evil. But Richard Sale and his team had to work on many other characters who have become part of the story that Travis Knight has envisioned. Sale's interview with EW gives us an insight into three such characters: Fisto, with his unique metal right hand; Ramman, the short and stocky warrior who uses his head as a battering ram; and the cyborg and metal-mouthed Trapjaw, who's also one of Skeletor's minions. We all know Ramman as a character who fights head first, arms down, with a kind of blunt force trauma. As Sale explains, he also has to emote and interact with people, which he couldn't do if the headpiece didn't rotate, like the Batman cowl. Also, he chose to make the armor soft because the metal shoulder armor wouldn't allow him to move freely. Everything that you see on camera is soft and spongy. It's a soft urethane foam, so he's able to bounce in it a bit, Sale explains. The visual effects department worked on the legs of Ramman to give him the traditional fighting stance, where his legs look almost like spring coils. As for Fisto, the team used a more traditional costume of leather and urethane armor pieces. And for the fist, they built it in the costume props department, and decided to go with practical effects for this one. Sale has revealed that it took them 6 to 7 months of research and development to get things right, and he finds the end result to be quite funny. Trapjaw is what I would call the perfect combination of practical effects and costume design with visual effects. The visual effects team worked on Trapjaw's entire right arm with the interchangeable weapons like a claw, a hook, and a laser gun. It was challenging to work on the legs though, because the actor Sam C. Wilson had to be able to run and jump in them to perform all the stunts. He said that the team did well to bring out the half-human, half-robot thing, and the prosthetic makeup designer Barry Gower and his team worked on Trapjaw's iconic helmet, which was made from specially molded silicone prosthetic. As Sale explains, we just want to get to see it on a scale that's going to be brilliant, and I'm sure it will be. Now, some characters like Beastman or even He-Man's Battle Cat Cringer are completely created through visual effects, but for the likes of Fisto, Ramman, and Trapjaw, Sale felt like they were achievable within the costume department, and he also says that Travis wanted that humanity there as well. We all know that the makers of the Masters of the Universe live-action movie have a wide range of characters to choose from, and obviously, not every single one could be fit into the film. As for Fisto, Ramman, and Trapjaw, they're all pretty popular characters, and most fans are familiar with their appearances. I guess that's what prompted the director and Sale to decide on working on a workable costume. I'm using the word workable very carefully here because, as Sale himself acknowledges, these were the most challenging of all the costumes. That's understandable because the actors who would have to don the suits would also have to perform during the intense fight scenes in the movie. Also, Sale spoke about his other big concern when he said, "It's always a fine line between creating these visually amazing looks, but then remembering that there's going to have to be a human being inside of it wearing it on and off for 10-12 hours a day." So as you can see, it's not about the visuals alone, but about convenience to some degree, and the costume designer has to keep both in mind. But for me, the best part is that the three characters seem to mirror the action figures on which they're based. The final result were huge 6-foot, 7-foot structures that were almost realistic, but also within the look of the film. The vision that worked for these characters is that Sale wanted people to see these characters realized from the cartoons that they watched and the toys that they played with. As he puts it, We didn't want it to be some new Marvel imagined version or some super duper slick version. The world they occupy is this weird medieval futuristic thing, and we wanted to keep it grounded in that. I was very impressed by the interview with Richard Sale because he seemed like such a passionate man. The scale of costume design and practical effects is something that I haven't seen in a long while, and with all the visual effects, it should be a delightful visual experience. I mean, the trailers make it pretty evident that the tone of the movie is set to take you into a fantasy world, and I think that the practical and visual effects will have a lot to contribute to make it happen on the big screen. Let me know in the comments down below how thrilled you are to catch the much-awaited film, and also share your thoughts on the things Richard Sale had to say about the characters. If you appreciate the efforts to bring you this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.